Good morning, everyone, and I hope you're having an interesting evening if you're in Europe. And it's 9 o'clock in the morning here in Auckland, 13th of December, and we've got 3 boats in already, and there's more on their way. So that's kind of cool. We had, you would have seen, Translated came in, took out line honours, and by the look, and also provisional IRC rankings. So, and by the look of the weather, I think that's going to be pretty much confirmed because Triana is coming second, but you'll see on the weather it's going to go quiet before they get in. So Translated looking very strong to get both line honours and IRC. So they came over the line. The big excitement was when they ran aground. They stuck in the mud about 150 metres from the finish line, but got off reasonably well. They're scheduling to come out of the water to do some other maintenance anyway. And when they do come out of the water, they'll check the keel, but all should be fine, touch wood. And then early hours of this morning, Penduic came roaring around the corner, and a very impressive sight coming down the harbour in the dark. And, they were happy to get in. They didn't know where the other boats were. Neither did Translated. They'd sort of kept off the wire, you might say. So they didn't know they were actually first in until they actually got here. And I think it was pretty much the same for Penduic. They didn't know that Translated were actually here before they arrived as well. So a few surprises there. Good to see them. And then about 2.5 hours later, we had Spirit of Helsinki come up the harbour. The wind had swung a little bit. They basically did one long leg towards the end to the finish line. That was really good. And both Translated and Spirit of Helsinki are currently on the customs berth, haven't moved across to the general berth, so we haven't popped the champagne yet, but we just heard they're down there now doing customs and immigration. So they'll be moving very shortly. So this will be a quick update. As soon as we've done here, then I'll be heading straight down there and do all that. We'll do the lives as well. So stand by for that. It'll happen pretty quick, I think. We didn't wrap up till 5-6 o'clock this morning. Came home and had about an hour or so of sleep, and it's on again. So, and then there'll be another 24 hours or something before Maiden turns up. So, anyway, straight onto the tracker, and let's have a look at what's going on here. And if I hit that again, I think we're up there. Yep, that's all cool. So we've got 11 boats still racing. Maiden's up here, just turn around Cape Reinga. And the rest of the fleet is looking pretty good. It's going to be quiet for White Shadow. But just before we get into that, what's Explorer and Sterner up to? They're trundling along quite nicely in perfect Southern Ocean conditions, 5.4 knots, slowed down a little bit from the last 4 hours, 171 mile day. And Sterner levelling out. They've got a nice nor'wester there, 7.5 knots and 160 mile day. So to give a bit of a run on the weather that they're likely to get in the next 24 hours. There's getting close, just pushing through, nothing happening there. On the 14th, there's a bit of a blow coming underneath them, but they're low enough now to keep going in the roaring 40s, keep the breeze going and getting in hopefully just before the start. In fact, Explorer's now got 3,900 miles, so just under 4,000 miles. And it's fair and reasonable to expect that they'll make at least 1,000 miles a week. That's not epic distances, but there's still some challenges in the Tasman. So 1,000 miles a week is a good average, and that would mean they'll arrive just before the start, the restart. And Stern is about 300 miles behind, so that could be a couple of days later. So they both could actually arrive just before the start. So let's keep our fingers crossed on that. So coming back to the rest of the fleet up here, pick that up one more and we just fit in the picture. So White Shadow's just coming under the influence of the center of this high, just directly north of them, 4.9 knots, so slowed down a bit, but still managed a 163 mile day. Not too bad. Galliana with Secure and Outlaw side by side, still 9.3 knots, moving well, 206 mile day. And we've got 9.1 for Outlaw, 202 mile day. So Galliana took out about 4 miles on Outlaw, but conditions perfect. There's probably 25, gusting 33 or 4 from behind, probably with 3 meter sea. So very nice Tasman sailing. Neptune, 9 knots, doing pretty well, 209 mile day. Again, perfect sailing conditions. Everything's behind. 8.6 for Avrika, 191 mile day. And Triana coming up on the course a little bit, 8.1 knots, 206 mile day, and L'Esprit de Kip, 9.4, 225 mile day. So they're obviously talking with Triana and thinking we got to stay ahead of these guys. So there's a bit of a boat race going on there. And then Maiden, they'll be looking at New Zealand this morning, which is fantastic. It's going to be a real buzz for them. 8.3 knots. They lost out a bit of ground against the other three in the last couple of days, which was unfortunate. They've been hanging in there for some time. But anyway, it looks like they're going to hold the breeze all the way down. So we'll just look at the whole fleet now for breeze factor. See what's happening generally with the breeze and this high pressure system. So, all right, and distance, Maiden is now 216 nautical miles from the finish. If she had a big 200-mile day, she'll be here tomorrow morning. And I think that may be the case, or tomorrow midday or something. But let's just see as we push this through. That whole fleet's got reasonable breeze holding through. Yeah, it's pretty reasonable. I'll push that up now. You can see what's happening here. White Shadow's going to get that northerly. They'll head out to the east with that. And these guys are going to go light in the middle, so they'll slow down a little bit. And this is where we'll see. Triana's chance of having anything close to translated is going to simply disappear. This is coming in the morning of the 14th. You can see the wind is softening off, but I think Maiden will carry it all the way down, so they'll be right. We'll see them sometime tomorrow. But then the rest of the fleet, they're going to get what usually happens. The first four boats have been pretty lucky. Here's the center of there's a big high pressure system coming across. And this is typical for summer in the Tasman. There's a progression of highs and so on coming through. And you can see it's going to get soft. Wind direction is okay, but it's going to get soft coming down the back of the North Island of New Zealand. All sorts of interesting little things happening. If we just pick that up, you can see even down the coast, light and fluffy, not a lot of breeze there. So I think the Spree Kip and Tiana are going to be struggling to keep up those average speeds coming down, and that'll actually deliver the IRC prize to Translated 9. So that's all pretty good. On the rankings, the IRC rankings for the next group, we got 3 in at the moment. Forgetting about this. So 44.10 for Spirit of Helsinki. Maiden is still only what have got 1 hour behind Spirit of Helsinki, and I don't think they'll be able to pip that because Helsinki really did power down the coast. But let's wait and see. Maiden might be able to jump up into third on IRC. That's a real threat. Then we've only got 1 minute between Maiden and Galliana with Secure. But I think, again, you're going to see Galliana fall back into that hole, whereas Maiden will keep going. So I think that will stand, and you'll see a bigger gap happening between Maiden and Galliana with Secure. There's 7 hours with Avrika to Galliana with Secure. That could level out a bit, but 7 hours might be a bit much, but they could gain on that and overtake. Penjuic is on 45.1. I think they'll be down in the rankings there. However, Galliana with Secure could drop down a bit, and Penjuic might jump up one. Not sure about Avrika. They got a bit of breeze, but yeah, I think it's only 4 hours, 5 hours. So you might see Penjuic jump up a couple there. So she may jump the rankings a bit, and then you got another gap back to Neptune and Spree Kip. So that's about as far as we're guessing to what the handicaps might end up as being. Anyway, enough of that. I think if we come back here now and just see what's on the go for comments, if there's any. Yep, here we go. No real comments yet. If I have a colleague in Outlaw, I totally missed leg 1. Boats never caught my attention, but you know how to do the magic. Thank you so much for this amazing event and all the joy. Amazing. Yeah, one thing's for sure, the entrants are having a ball. They really are living their dreams, so that's kind of cool. And that's the only comment we've got this morning, so that's good. You're getting fed all the information, and hope you saw the press release that went out last night, and there'll be another one coming out today, I reckon. Or no, that'll hold off until Maiden arrives, and we'll tell the whole story of the others. But look out for the lives. You'll see us down there very shortly, talking to Spirit of Helsinki and also Penjuic. That's it. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Unless Maiden's coming in on top, then it might be a delay, but we'll see.